target these two picks and bans.
Yeah. And Rise, of course, going to be the ban tonight. I doubt we are going to see that for quite some time. And there is LeBlanc. Yep. Actually one of Mickey's less threatening champions, I would say. But with the Zed nerfs that we saw on previous patches to his ultimate, they may not consider that such a danger any longer. Azir will not be played.
Now, I believe Mickey's still played more games on LeBlanc this season than any other champion, too. So success or not, they really seem to prefer it for him.
Oh, yeah, they have.
Yeah.
He's only picked up one win on the champion, though, so he has less than 50% win rate on it.
Yeah, that would be like 25% if he uses it 4 times, which I think is as many times as he's used it. So LeBlanc and Evelyn, the other two bans coming out of SK Telecom. Azir banned by Anarchy. We'll see what their final ban is going to be.
So are we going to have a first pick jungle here or a first pick Alistar? SKT really likes to first pick Alistar. That has been a priority champion for them for quite some time, as it is for many teams, but SKT really the first team to get on board with Alistar during the current meta, and I think it should be Kalista.
Okay.
All
right, why not? Well, I mean, we saw giving the Kalista to the good team last game work really well for Wait, no, the Kalista went 7-1-7. It was a disaster, but...
They have to take Alistar right now, too. It was a disaster, and you know what? Bang is professionally undefeated on Kalista. He is 7-0 going into this particular game. So, lots of risk with this. This is a champion that SK Telecom really knows how to use.
Well, it'd be interesting to see the new Ashe picked up by Songyun. We've been kind of wondering when we're going to see that pop up. It seems fairly good right now, but nobody in Korea has really decided to give it a try yet.
It has been played in the LCS regions actively, but...
Right, not here, though.
Well, Koreans don't really like low mobility AD carries, so that is definitely a consideration.
And engaging really isn't something that AD carries do here, which is what you kind of get with Ashe. And they do take the Alistar away. Alistar Rumble taken by Anarchy. So no Kalistar lane this time.
The Kalistar lane
is like a very threatening name. It sounds like an 80s like sci-fi cartoon, Kalistar.
All right. Well, the Rek'Sai still up for grabs here.
Yeah, Benki's been very good on it for a long time.
Well, for a short time. He's only been playing it since the end of this past season.
Feels like a long time. He's so good. Just feels like forever. But what is the other pick going to be? Do you just take Thresh here and just not reveal a whole lot?
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right. And they will. I said preemptively as there were 10 seconds left and hoped I was right.
They will just take the Thresh here. It's such a nebulous pick and a great lane.
Yep, there it is. So another couple picks coming out for Anarchy.
Question is, what is Faker going to blind pick? The Azir and Cassiopeia, some of the safer blind pick champions, not available. They banned out the LeBlanc themselves.
I would think Faker would grab the victor here if he gets a chance.
I think you're probably right. Although, there is that threat of a high kill lane. Like, what happens if they pick Lee Sin Zed and all-in Victor? That's pretty dangerous.
Maybe Faker will just pick Zed. No, I doubt it. Not with the nerfs on this ultimate.
Not blind. No. Zed is really dangerous.
I still think Victor's okay. You've got decent wave clear with Victor. You don't need to be super aggressive, even though Faker inevitably will be, but you can play it safely, Ooh, I don't know about picking the mid lane now, though, for Anarchy. Yeah, they won't.
They just want to start threatening Faker. They're saying, we have Lee Sin. If you want to pick a mid laner that doesn't have an escape, we may be able to punish you, considering that the Ahri or the Zed could be coming out for Mickey.
What if you just take the Ahri?
I think the Ahri is pretty good here.
Yeah, makes some sense.
I think the Ahri is definitely pretty good. He'll be able to roam on that champion, try and snowball the Kalista.
This means we're just going to see Varus.
Well, this does not be a good comp for Varus.
Hasn't stopped them before. No, it's the Victor. And like I was saying, I feel like this is still not bad. You still have that wave clear. You still can farm up. He had that amazing game on Victor versus Samsung.
Yes, he did. But this is a different kind of mid laner than Crown.
True.
And how much will it be punished? The Gnar versus the Rumble in the top side to get that big amount of CC, and that can set up devastating Victor combos in the late game, because the great thing about the Gnar ultimate is it sets everybody up in a line for a Death Ray Chaos combo, Chaos Storm combo. That could be really brutal.
I think Zed is going to be the way to go for Mickey this game here.
I think so too, and I think Faker knows this is coming.
Oh yeah, I think SKT definitely knows what's up. But Faker being Faker, I don't think he's too worried about this.
I think you take Zed or Ahri here and just try and punish Victor and camp out that mid lane, but it's going to be hard with the amount of wards that Bengi usually has in the mid side and the fact that he's going to be hanging around the mid lane with his Tremor Sense.
You know, I like the Ahri a bit better, but I think it's still going to be the Zed, just based on what Mickey seems to prefer, you know?
Well, we've seen a lot of Zed bans against Mickey. We haven't seen Zed since his nerf. No one has played it.
I thought we saw it once. I think we saw it one game. Maybe I'm misremembering things. Because I remember talking about this.
We did talk about it, but the patch hadn't changed over yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there's the Ahri, yeah. I think that is a bit more solid for Mickey, and he will take that to the mid lane.
So yeah, the Ahri or the Zed coming in, definitely the biggest possibility, especially when comboed with the Lee Sin. Grab for the jungle for Lyra, and how much damage will they be able to do to Faker? They may have to leave Bang a little bit more unattended than they would like.
It's so scary that Faker has even picked Cleanse. Wow. Faker without Ignite, what do you know?
He's at least partially intimidated by Mickey's charms. That is playing with respect, though.
He's being realistic about it.
The only way you lose to Anarchy is if Mickey gets rolling.
Yeah.
You just, as long as you can play even against Mickey, I think you're going to be okay. So
yeah, you just don't give him the chance. Pretty reasonable. So SK Telecom with a pretty powerful team comp all the way through. And Anarchy, I suppose, looking to make some picks.
Yep. Pretty much a pick comp for them. They're not going to be able to handle probably a 5v5 in the late game against SKT, but they have some pretty decent kill pressure in all of the lanes right here. If Marin's pushed up, he could be vulnerable, especially post-6 to the Rumble Lee Sin combination, and obviously the hard CC in mid and bot do make that attractive, those attractive options, and Bengi is going to have to really take care of Faker this game.
That's right. Well, it's time. Let's see if SKT can take out Anarchy, or will it go the other way around and we'll have an upset? Let's get in the game and find out. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift. Anarchy taking on SK Telecom T1. Faker bringing the victor to the mid lane. That's going to be the only Lee Sin skin we see from now on. Goodbye, Muay Thai Lee Sin.
Oh, I like that one more.
KO Punch Lee Sin is here to stay.
Well, looks like just pretty standard fans from both teams. We were not going to hit his Q right there. Back off, Bengi. It's going to be a little cheeky and take a hit on that ward.
Yep.
Mara's here now too, so looks like their wards will be going in a bit deeper, trying to check out. This is to detect any early cheese. They really want to know where he starts, and if he's going to start the buff first.
Wow.
Look at that ward. Great warding from SKT. So what they're doing right now is they're trying to prevent a level 2 gank on the mid lane. They're scared that Lee Sin is going to start red, get level 2, and then immediately gank Faker. So,
well, we've seen it a lot in the past.
It's a very, very smart start. Now they know his exact timing, whether he's starting Krugs, whether he's starting at the red buff, and that will keep Faker nice and safe. So good early warding, and then again, a ward at the blue buff. So they have very good idea of what is going on in this map as we head into standard lanes in this game.
Sure enough. Standard lanes. That may be exactly what SK Telecom is looking for here.
And look at the timing, too, on these wards. So they are going to see the entire path, because what we saw was Marin go in, place his ward earlier, and then Bengi wait until a minute 20 so that Trinket ward would be up in case he started Krugs, so they know his exact route. So really good ward timings at level 1 for SK Telecom. Very clean, and now Faker knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive that makes him in the mid lane. Certainly off to a good start. Wow, nice harass from Wolf, getting that flay, getting that auto attack onto Songyun, and they're already starting to deny that CS. It's definitely going to be a pretty massive uphill battle for Anarchy in this series. And somebody will have their first loss on their champion.
Yeah, Mickey hasn't. He's only played a couple of Ari games, though, but they have been good.
Faker's played more than a couple Victor games. But didn't for a long time, because nobody played Victor for a long time.
Indeed, and it's sad because it really started getting rolling, and then the victoring was ended. Faker is 3-0 all-time on Victor, by the way.
So I guess exactly a few then.
Yeah, he played 2 games, then it stopped being available. Then he played 1 game where he crushed his opponents.
Then stopped being available again.
No. The crushing happened last week. That was a very serious crushing.
Victor is the new Rengar. That's just how it is.
Disabled forever.
Yep. Wow. This is already looking like a pretty rough lane for Songyun and Snowflower.
Fast recall from Faker, actually.
Yeah, going back and picking up the idol really quick just to continue with the harass. And I mean, this is what we saw last game too.
Yeah, and he didn't have enough gold for the upgrade onto the Hextech core. I mean, obviously at 3.5 minutes into the game, but just pushing up and then going back and getting that advantage in lane. Very interesting play. Mickey with 2 Doran's rings already as well.
Bengi coming in here from behind, and Lyra's a little bit out of position. Marin hopping in, Ixu fleeing down to the river. There's a chilling smite. They get the flash already. Lyra coming down to support him. And they're going to turn on to Bengi. Wow, Bengi taking a lot of damage, getting knocked up, or getting the knock up. Ixu getting low. Bengi forces a flash over the wall. Wards used. Lyra chases, but Bengi gets back under the tower just in case, or just in time.
So, that was a good gank from Bengi, and there wasn't any backup. When the Rumble pushes into lane, almost every time, you will see the jungler from the Rumble team in the brush, in the top side, waiting to counter gank. Lyra wasn't there, so they had an opportunity to make a play.
Right.
Now, Bengi got greedy. He did not flash to hit the knockup, and that was punished very hard because they kept chasing without any kind of crowd control onto the Rumble to get the damage that they needed down, and then they were able to turn it around in that 2v2, which the Lee Sin and the Rumble just do more damage this early than Gnar.
Yeah, Bengi a little bit lucky that he didn't get taken out on his way out of that skirmish.
Yeah, had to use his flash anyway, so that definitely could have been won, I feel, by SK Telecom had they committed to using the flash, but they got greedy.
Well, I suppose it happens. Hasn't stopped Marin from getting a nice healthy CS lead, though, up in top lane. Already 6 ahead here.
They're getting chased off some of the CS, though. Choosing a trade instead, so it'll all even out. And Bang and Wolf, now that Snowflower is higher level, they do have that sustained advantage. They're able to do some work right there.
Oh, Bang getting poked pretty heavily by Songyun right now. And
Bang doing Q-Max this time instead of E, which we saw OQ attempting last time around. Just equalizer drop, zoning him off some CS. Will he actually get the recall? Nope, he doesn't. He gets chased out by Ixu. So Ixu doing a good job of controlling this lane after the gank.
Oh, death sentence onto Snowflower, and the Flay as well gets pretty low, but Lyra comes down just in case they need that.
Yeah, you can see
extra support in the bot lane.
Bang and Wolf so conservative. They don't commit to that at all, knowing that they had no clue where the enemy jungler was. There was a threat right there. So just take the small advantage you got based on that trade and don't overplay your hand. Meanwhile, Mickey on the roam. He gets seen by the Tremor Sense, however.
Yeah, going into the enemy jungle there, too.
Yeah, they ping him out. They have a good idea where he is. Going to send a Sentinel into that brush. Make sure he's not there. Mickey gets seen by a couple Sentinels in the river, and that'll prompt a recall. Marin just trying to push up and get out. TP is available. Probably won't have to use it.
Yep, should be able to get back in plenty of time for the next wave. Yeah, so I feel like it's kind of to be expected, but a pretty farm-centric early game between these two teams.
Yeah, Now the Hex Drinker coming in as well. This is where Nar really can start to punish this Rumble in lane. It's going for the more defensive option. Faker trading very favorably as he sidesteps the charm, hitting the Death Ray.
Not bothering to try to deny the recall or anything like that. Just getting a bit more CS before he goes and grabs the blue buff. No problem. Yeah, so probably got a little bit of time, huh? We'll see if Lyra wants to try to make a play in this bot lane. It's going to be tough with the bot lane, knowing that he's around anyway for now.
Well, they've heavily invested in wards in the river. 2 pink wards on the bottom side, so Faker can't play as aggressively as he might like, and he's just going to back off. He knows that pink ward's in there, but he doesn't want to commit to killing it right now. Scared of being alone while Mickey is level 6, and they've got so many gap closers to get on top of him, so he's just going to let Bengi know there is a pink ward there and play a little more scared in the lane.
Oh, here comes Lyra. Faker moving up quite a bit in that lane. Has to be careful here.
Bengi's not there.
Far back. Yep, they're going to go in. Faker flashes. The Q would have missed him anyway, it looks like, but Faker better safe than sorry there. They do get the flash out of Faker, though. Meanwhile, some action onto Wolf here, taking a lot of damage from Songyun as they have to retreat here. Bang doing some return damage, but again, you know, that Lucian Alistar lane has a little bit more sustain to it.
And now they're going to take out some of the... Ooh, Lyra has to be careful. That poke is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Bang, you're going to have to take his support's lantern out of the pit.
Yep, they've got the swords around Dragon, though, so at least they've got a bit of vision.
And that's one thing that Anarchy has consistently done well, is place good wards. Their wards are very good right now. They're putting pressure on with their warding patterns. They're preventing Faker from really doing much. Mickey has had some time to roam, even if it hasn't been successful, but that is the key to Anarchy's success, is getting Mickey out of that lane and snowballing everybody else.
It's interesting to see, too, because, yeah, we do have some veterans on this team that have been around for a little while, but usually, like, warding is not one of the things that newer teams do well, you know?
But it has been consistently good on Anarchy.
Yeah. Anarchy's been an interesting team to watch this season in terms of the flaws that they've had and kind of the advantages that they've had, too, both kind of a little bit unexpected when you look at the team.
Yeah, finally that second pink ward taken by Bengi, but there's plenty of green wards there just to back it up, and they've got so much vision onto Wolf and onto Bengi in this game. You can't really go anywhere on either side of the map for a gank without being seen.
Yeah, very true. And so the farming continued long into the night.
Well, it's fine for SK Telecom. Going even for them right now is definitely a good thing.
Yep.
They're just trying to prevent any kind of early game snowballing that could occur.
Well, yeah, I mean, Anarchy is pretty reliant on getting picks, right? So if they can't get picks, they can't really get a lot out of their team composition.
Yep, just some pretty patient play now. A lot of ward clearing going on, and looks like Snowflower are going to take a little bit of damage from the activation of the dragon, while Wolf clears out some wards on the backside of the pit, but that's not all the action we got right now. Faker has upgraded his Hex Core.
They really want to kill Faker. And they might have an opportunity here. Faker, he's got to be wondering where everybody is. Oh, there we go. Lyra comes in. Oh, he queued onto the minion. Still got there with the flash, though. Got the kick. Faker in a lot of trouble. Doing a lot of damage to Lyra, though. Faker, wow, nearly takes out Lyra, but first blood goes to Anarchy anyway. A little bit of a kind of a crazy gank, but it worked out for Anarchy.
Well, Faker's flash was down. All he had was the barrier in that situation, so it's pretty easy gank to execute if you have all of these gap closers. He was playing through the wave, so he did at least force Lyra's flash, but Anarchy picks up the kill. Unfortunately, it doesn't go onto Mickey. First blood to Lyra instead.
Yeah, that does cause a bit of a problem. Man, and Faker already just nearly killing the jungler right there, even with the 1v2.
Well, when the Lee Sin goes in, it's pretty easy just to put the W on yourself and then just unload a combo. So, and considering that Lyra has gone for a warrior enchant, not a lot of HP to make it work. And just back into lane. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
No, I mean, 10 minutes from now, that kill is not going to really make a big difference. Oh, Lyra going in onto Bengi here. Bengi doing a little bit of counter jungling, trying to take some of these camps. And Lyra, again, you know, like you just mentioned, with that Warrior Chat, not a lot of health. Snowflower having to flash on the box. Wolf, flash death sentence onto Songyun. They get the exhaust on as well, but here comes a teleport for Anarchy. Faker roaming down. There's the equalizer. Doesn't do a whole lot. It does slow down Marin as he comes in. He's almost Mega Gnar. Meanwhile, Mickey does get the kill onto Bengi. Oh, there's a snipe onto Snowflower. A kill for Faker, and they're going to back off after the 1-for-1 trade. So teleports used by both top laners. Bengi somehow died in the enemy jungle. That was a bit odd.
Well,
Gave a kill to Mickey, too.
Mickey came up in there and killed him while he was invading. So here's what happens. He was trying to delay Lyra. Couldn't kill Lyra. Died. There's a lot of damage right there. So meanwhile, Mickey continues to chip away at the mid turret, slowly getting some more damage. Bengi Void Rush to keep Mickey at bay. He's going to try and maybe take this red buff right now, actually. Pops down a ward. How sneaky does he want to be?
Bengi undeterred by getting killed by Mickey, I suppose. And Faker.
Is he's kind of trapped there right now. It's going to be a 3v2, though.
Oh, Wolf taking a lot of damage right away, though. But Faker responding with that Chaos Storm. Nice double knockup from Bengi. Can they capitalize? Snowflower trying to save people, and Mickey just barely makes it out.
As a result of that pot that he used, but they look like they're going to lose a tower because of it. That is much more important. Bengi backing off, so hiding there in the brush, not seeing anybody with the Tremor Sense, but getting the ward down, seeing if he can steal the red buff. Now SK Telecom taking 2 objectives at the same time after removing the mid laner and the jungler from the middle of the map, and that is a huge win for SKT. And this is how good teams work. They're able to punish you even if they don't get a kill.
Yeah.
They take that momentum and turn it into something else, and that is a large victory for them.
Yeah, when you push someone back to the base to heal up, you have to think about where they're not going to be, you know, for the next 20 to 30 seconds and what you can do with that.
Great.
SKT, good responding.
Yeah, great split up there from SKT to take the objectives. Now, Anarchy responds with the blue buff, so that's a nice little steal, but will they pay for it? Bengi down in the bottom side, doesn't know if there's a ward in Tri-Brush. They really want to push this, though. Songyun has to back off the tower.
They could just take the turret, too, couldn't they? I mean, they can push Songyun out of there.
They just saw a ward go down, so they know Bengi's there.
I see. Well, Marin dueling with Ixu here, but here comes Lyra, ult against the wall, and Marin may have gone a little bit too far here, trying to hop away, flash away, over the wall he goes. Equalizer, though, keeps him bottled up. Q misses, and it looks like Marin actually gets out.
Oh.
A parting building.
Very, very greedy from Marin to do that all in. No wards in the river right there.
Yeah, not knowing where Lyra was.
Lyra's still...
Wow. Just hopped right over that Q, I guess.
Loses tower for it, though, more than likely.
Yep. So SKT playing a little bit sloppy here and there in game number 1 against Anarchy.
Faker's coming back with another Hex Core upgrade. They may lose 2 towers. This is a great response by Anarchy all around if they can get it.
Mickey. This is a bit dangerous. Death Sentence lands. Bengi comes in, gets the knockup. Snowflower there to support, though, and they have to back away. Wolf now very low. Mickey picks up the kill. The charm onto Bengi as well, too, and Faker gets hit with that Q. He's not going to be able to follow that up.
Now, I think they could have saved that turret without Wolf dying right there. Wolf, little bit eager to get that kill.
I feel like they thought Faker was going to get there a bit sooner.
I think that's exactly what they thought. Faker was just not in a position to get to that mid lane, so it looks like perhaps a bit of miscommunication on the timing of getting back into mid lane, because Wolf really did sort of all in right there for that one, and that means that we're nearly caught up right now. Anarchy seeing that bottom side, and they punished the recalls as well, so Anarchy doing a pretty good job of staying up with SK Telecom here, and Mickey is on a champion that he knows how to make those plays on, and he's been a part of all 3 kills so far, so this is looking good for Anarchy.
Well, Anarchy is getting what they want as a team. You know, they love to have those little skirmishes, and if they can get you, one-on-one, 2v2, they generally do pretty well, as we've seen so far. That said, SKT, again, they just need to settle down, play a bit safer, wait for the late game.
Wow. Snowflower flashing for a pink ward. No backup right there from his jungler. Very easy collapse from SKT.
Yeah, they're going to be able to move in and get a bit more vision into this top jungle as well, too, because that mid turret isn't around anymore. Yep, and Anarchy, though, despite those successful skirmishes, it does feel like they're starting to kind of lose some ground on the map, you know?
Well, they certainly are. And where is this Rumble going? There's not a lot of objectives of this Rumble to take right now. It's weird for him to be in the bottom. They expected him to be in the top side, which is why SKT just sent 4 people top. But now they're going to be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to get the top turret, I suppose. They're going to lose their bottom one. But it's a bit odd. Recall coming in now from Ixu. Do you think he's going to teleport back to turret to try to save it?
No, probably not, because the Dragon's going to be coming up before his TP does. I think they're just going to try and trade 1 for 1. But Ixu actually opting to go deep warding in the bottom side rather than defend his turret. So they want to trade evenly. That was a bit of a mind game because SKT definitely overcommitted resources into the top side for that.
Dragon up in 2 minutes now.
Oh, wow.
Anarchy just going for the tier 2
well,
here.
This is what happens when Anarchy shows up on the bottom side of the map with this Rumble. They didn't know where he was. And now they figure it out, and they're going to get a tier 2. Can SKT respond? They're down to about 50% on this one.
Well, they have to start to think about Dragon coming up in a minute 30, though. I mean, they can't leave Benki and Marn up there. Well, I guess they can with Void Rush, but there's no tunnels down there. So
good trade from Anarchy.
Yeah.
Anarchy continues just to punish SKT because they're not doing... That didn't make sense, what they just did. Rumble should not be in the bottom side right there. Rumble should be top lane trying to clear that wave with Equalizer. And so SKT... Anarchy just not doing the proper thing and surprising them a bit.
Well, sometimes you have to break the rules, Monte Cristo. Sometimes you have to sow a little bit of anarchy into your plan.
Well, at least they live up to their name.
Yeah. Sure enough, a hook onto Mickey, but no follow-up from SKT. Dragon up in about 45. And Bengi recalling. He's going to need to get back to the Dragon area pretty soon. Now, how much does SKT need to prevent Anarchy from taking this first Dragon? Is it really that big of a deal, or do you use it to take that tier 2 and top, use it to push the lanes up otherwise?
I think they can. They're fine to contest it, but they don't have to. They should be stronger going in late as long as they keep their vision up and don't get picked off. That really is Anarchy's win condition. So Faker, it's like he mistimed the blue a little bit. Now going back for it. He was wandering around near the blue buff earlier, but there really wasn't a point. He's going to be cutting it a little bit close with this Dragon if they want to fight it.
Yeah, I think he's going to be late if Anarchy actually starts it right away. Oh, we're going to get back just in time now, I suppose.
They still have to deal with this mid turret. SKT holding on to this mid tower as long as they have. Wolf sacrificing his life for the mid tower now makes it really worthwhile considering how long it stayed up.
Oh, there goes the pink ward. Speed Shrine is in the favor of Anarchy. That Dragon getting a little bit lower. Wolf coming in. Death Sentence doesn't hit anybody. And there's a teleport. They're going to go on to Ixu immediately. Wow, Ixu drops the Equalizer, but they still get the kill on him. Dragon taken by Anarchy, but here comes SK Telecom. Lyra a little bit on his own in the back lines of his own team. Not able to do what Lisa needs to do. Snowflower surviving with no health. Never mind. Bengi seeks out his prey for a kill there. Meanwhile, over the wall goes Marin, gets kicked back. Looks hilarious when Mega Gnar gets kicked. So Dragon taken by Anarchy. They lost their top laner and support in the process, and they may lose more than that here as Faker, Wolf, and Bang push up this mid lane.
Yeah, Wave's not really in their favor, though.
Yeah.
There are pings going down onto the Baron. It does seem unlikely that they're going to be able to take it here at 21 minutes, but maybe they can sneak it out. They do have... I think they're just trying to bait it. Yeah, they're just trying to bait it with the Tremor Sense. That would be really dangerous. Hey,
hey, what do you know? Scrying Orb, pretty good.
Well, that was a nice try because you couldn't realistically take it right there, and the waves were not working with you at that time. The bot wave too far out, the top wave reversing towards you, so maybe you get a pick.
Yeah. Well, they're going to lose their mid lane turret for it. But that one was going to go down
very
at some
low.
point anyway. Yeah.
And they get a shop in.
Yep.
And Faker is going Sheen.
Wow. All right. Split pushing Victor incoming. Going for that Lich Bane possibly.
Yeah, well, definitely going for the Lich Bane. Question is, what is he planning to do with it? I mean, this may be a reaction to the fact that Ahri has to get close to him in order to deal damage. And so he thinks he can trade very favorably with his Q if Ahri gets close. That would make sense. Of course, that empowered auto that Victor gets can really hurt.
It's more burst.
Q.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's definitely about his Q. And his assumption that with all of these melee range champions that people are going to be close enough for him to get multiple Qs off while still kiting.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, they do have... Ahri obviously isn't a melee range champion, but Ahri does have to get close to you if she's actually going to hit all of her damage on you.
Right.
Interesting. We'll see how it works.
Marin pushing up this top lane now, and SK Telecom just focusing their efforts around controlling that Baron pit. They've got plenty of vision there, so they can just start baiting this once they clear out a few more wards. Not a whole lot to worry about with the outer turrets down and the tier 2 gone in bot lane. And I suppose if like Songyun or Mickey commit to the bottom lane, they can just go for Baron, huh?
Yeah, that would not be a great plan. Even Ixu without TP down there is
that's true.
A little bit dicey. As you can see, SKT really starting to strengthen their vision control.
Well, they know where they need to be on the map right now, that's for sure. Oh, Snowflower. Ooh, Lyra throwing the ward out. They're going to spot him. Yep.
I just want to take the top turret. So their job was to see if they could make a pick and prevent people from walking into the jungle while Marin headbutts the turret to death, and they pull back even in terms of gold.
That's right, 4 turrets to 4 turrets as Marin takes the top tier 2. And SKT, again, the longer this game goes, the more powerful this team seems like it's going to be. Bang not doing a ton of damage just yet, but Faker certainly will be.
Yeah, that big CS lead between Marin and Ixu. So Ixu's roam to the bottom side gave Marin a lot of farm. Now, coming out of the laning phase, Marin was only about 15 up, but when Ixu started making plays towards bottom, Marin has just been able to solo farm in the top side, and it also means he's a level up right now, too. So Ixu's... This is why that kind of random play can be punished in the end, because now the towers have evened out, but the CS and the levels have not. So they got enough damage down onto the tier 2 and kept up the split pushing. So this Rumble hurting a bit.
I would say so.
QSS now built for Bang.
Yeah, just wants to stay safe against that Charm, of course.
And the double AP too.
Well, yeah.
Especially since that Equalizer can hit him in the back line. Gives him that extra little bit of survivability. Wolf taking a Sonic Wave right there.
Anarchy trying to push down through here, but I would be pretty hesitant to go through SK Telecom's jungle like that. They just want a little bit more vision over SKT as they try to get control over the Baron. They're going to start the Baron even. Oh boy. This could be risky. Wolf coming in, spots it, gets knocked up by that Pulverize, knocked back in, gets pulled out by the Fate's Call.
Wow, Ixu is taking so much damage from Baron.
Yeah, this is a little bit risky. Anarchy really taking a chance there, and it doesn't look like they'll be punished too hard for it, maybe losing their bottom tier 2.
Well, they keep on losing waves of experience onto Ixu,
yeah.
who is now 2 levels behind.
That's a good point.
So they are sacrificing Ixu so hard in this game to make these objective-based plays. And SKT playing the more safe, calculated game here. It did result in some advantages earlier on for Anarchy, but the more they roll the dice here, the further they get behind as they are discovered at that Baron.
We've seen SK Telecom do things like this so much this season too. Usually it's with a more tanky comp we saw earlier in the season with Urgot and things like that, but just any way they can just play for the late game, play safe. Against a team like Anarchy, they're going to make a mistake at some point, kind of just like Spenu. So although SKT just denying those picks.
I'm still impressed with how tightly Anarchy has played this game. I think that they definitely came off their week-long break looking a bit more poised, and they haven't been rattled by SK Telecom. They've traded objectives pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah. Well, getting that week of practice is certainly nice. Oh, they're going to go in onto Mickey. There's a play after the knockup from the Fate's Call, and Faker with an easy finish to that pick.
It's great play. Mickey far forward, and they are willing to commit with a Fate's Call immediately. Now they're able to siege with this Mega Gnar, and this Gnar is huge right now. Yeah, they have to be very worried about a dive.
He's been able to get very farmed, very tanky, and there is nothing they can do to stop this Tier 2 from going down, and SK Telecom with a good opportunity to just grab a Dragon on the way out too.
Yep, absolutely. 16 seconds until the Ahri is up. Pretty safe, and they're able to continue to put pressure on the mid lane at the same time. They have a ward on the Baron. They're not worried about that whatsoever, especially in that 4v5 scenario. And
oh boy, it's beginning. There's the Dragon. Faker doing a lot of damage to Ixu. Yep, Faker has that Lich Bane now. He's at the point where people are going to start getting blown up pretty quick.
Yeah, he just doesn't have that much AP yet. Obviously, getting the Lich Bane does delay some of your big HP or AP items.
Yeah, you do have a little bit of extra burst from it, I suppose. And
yeah, it's right now primarily, it's good for the movement speed and the Q, repeating the Q and kiting in combat. So his sustained damage is very good. His burst, not so much compared to other Victor builds that we've seen where he would have a faster death cap or something like that.
Well,
I do think it's a cool Victor build against this composition, though.
Yeah. And I mean, we know that Faker had to pick this Victor into, you know, whatever Mickey was going to grab. So they had this plan all along, you know.
He's so fast. Look at him.
Wow. Yeah, putting the damage onto Mickey as well, too. Dodges that, dodges a bit of, anyway, of that Q from Ahri. The Orb of Deception. See, it's not deceptive because it comes right at you. It's deceptive because you don't expect it to come back.
You don't expect the true damage on the way back either.
That's right. Well, that's why it does true damage, because you're not expecting it. There's no defenses. You were caught flat-footed, if we want to talk in Dungeons & Dragons terms. Oh, Wolf caught a bit flat-footed. Saved by the fake call, though. And they're going to catch Lyra out of this as well, too. Lyra in a lot of trouble. Marin doing a good job of blocking the rest of the team. Goes Mega Gnar. They're going to turn around. Bengi there as well. Ixu jumping onto Faker. There's a culling. Faker gets a shield, gets out with his life. And here comes Bang trying to clean up the rest of this fight. Meanwhile, Songyun slammed against the wall by Marin. And SK Telecom is going to take a pretty resounding team fight win here. Marin grabbing the double kill at the end of it, and this looks like something that you might be able to transition into a Baron. They will.
Yeah, Faker not even going back right there. He's just...
Yeah, he's got the shield.
He's got his shield from his Q. He's happy enough in that, especially with the Lantern there as well.
Yep.
Plays a little bit dangerously, but his cooldown of that Q is so short right now that it doesn't really matter. And they mess up the Rend a little bit. Marin punishing in the meantime. So let's take a look at this one again. They go on to Wolf, but the combo blown on just Wolf, and he's immediately taken out. No charm, no combo now. SKT's perfect to re-engage. They get on to Lyra, but he's out of the side. Marin kind of running around in circles right there a little bit. Could have done more if he had stayed close to Faker, considering how many cooldowns were actually blown. But Faker, Bang very easily moving through this team fight. Not a lot of threat remaining with all the CC, so he's able to sustain himself with the Bloodthirster.
I feel like Marin did a pretty good job, actually, in the mid lane of keeping everybody from engaging as quickly as they could have on Faker.
Well, he like jumped into the lane and there was nobody around him, so...
It was just scary. It was intimidating, man. And it put him in position to make that play on Songyun.
So...
See, sad Mickey.
Sad Mickey.
Well, he's got the Luden's Echo.
Faker has a fully upgraded Hex score now.
Yes, he does. And that does take the place of, you know, your more traditional AP item being lacking as well, too. He did get a chance to pick up the needlessly large rod, so now the AP is really starting to pile up on this Victor.
He's getting extremely scary.
Yep. 4-1-1. He's got some information for you, and the info is you're dead.
It's a very cruel helpline.
That's right. Doesn't help you at all, really, when you think about it.
Well, it depends on what you want, though. It depends on what you want.
I suppose that's true. Well, that got dark. Wow. Jeez. Well, Faker just walking up to this inhibitor turret now.
Just Dr. Kevorkian on the other end, you know.
Well, Victor Kevorkian.
Well, all right. Here's the Baron push. With Faker's AP, very difficult to resist this, and the fact that he already has that Lich Bane for so much damage to the towers.
Yeah. SKT still just kind of playing it safe, just slowly, methodically, bulldozing their way for a win. There goes the bottom tier 2 turret.
It's been such a technical game from SKT. They've done a great job of just playing calmly, taking the low-risk plays, and over a long enough timeline that results in a lead.
Yeah.
And Ixu now more than 100 CS behind his opponent.
You know, Anarchy hasn't played badly either. It's just SK Telecom seemed very prepared for what they needed to do in this game.
This is just one of those textbook examples of why you play the game a certain way. You can make epic big plays by doing things like having Ixu on the bottom side of the map if the other team gets suckered into it. But if you take that low-risk style, eventually, on a long enough timeline, it will result in an advantage.
Oh, Wolf knows that he's got that Fate's Call, so he can slow people up a little bit. Equalizer goes down. Marin backing away here as well, too. Snowflower locked into the SK Telecom team. He's going to get taken out. Ixu thrown back as well. A kill for Faker comes in. Lyra has to try to escape. The Chaos Storm chasing him. And SK Telecom winning an easy skirmish there.
Well, what are you going to do? If you're Anarchy, you have to repel them. They're beating down your gates. They just had the Baron buff drop off them. This is going to be your best time to try and all in. They did their damnedest, and they lose an inhibitor.
Yep, and now they're going to lose a dragon as well, and pretty much whatever SK Telecom wants to take at this point.
Well, Ixu's teleport is up, so maybe they could turn this around a little bit.
Can they win the 5v4?
No.
Yeah. I don't even think they need Marin yet. Yeah, and Lyra's chasing Marin around anyway. Clearly more important than this dragon.
Checking blue buff. All right, so there's... Oh.
You sure? You sure about that? All right, well. Faker looking for his next victim.
He doesn't need items.
Nope. He's already got plenty.
He needs to hide in this bush.
Hide on bush.
That is his Smurf.
Yep, that's right. One of his 2 Smurfs. That was, I haven't checked it for a while, but he did have both of them in the top 10 here in Korea for a while. Not the first time, definitely not going to be the last time. Let's see what he gets on his way back. I think he's just going to pick up a death cap at this point. Yep, he is. I had a great conversation with myself about Faker's items just there. Thanks for listening.
Well, he doesn't really need that much magic penetration. There's an Abyssal and a Banshees, but he's so far ahead in terms of core items that he can get away with this.
Yeah. And SKT still just grinding their way to victory.
Very methodical win.
Yep.
And unless disaster strikes them, it would be really difficult for Anarchy to make a big comeback right here.
Unless, like, NoFade just can't take it anymore and he, like, barges his way into the booth and starts attacking people. I think SKT is going to be fine.
Okay. Well, do we have last push of the game? Marin's split push is very strong against Rumble with that Maw. Really going to be able to trade nicely that item, and he's going for a Frozen Mallet next for the extra punishment in terms of split pushing.
Yep. Hey, could be a Sunfire Cape. You never know.
The pickaxe? Sunfire Cape, Blast Whisper?
Yep, that's the plan. Got it. Snowflower comes in to try to make a play. I mean, Anarchy has to do something, but SKT pretty prepared. Victor with an easy kill for Faker there. And Chaos Storm. Wow, there's a double kill from Faker. It's a lot of damage. Mickey trying to come in from the flank, but they spot him going back there. Faker chasing now, gets charmed, but Faker's like, all right, see ya.
Goodbye. Time to win the game.
Yep.
Or is he?
Nope, the great Mickey chase. And that's going to leave Bengi kind of on his own here. And Faker maybe should have stuck with his team. The game would be over if he had. Might still be over anyway, but
he's still chasing Ari.
All right, this has gotten a bit silly.
And now the rest of his teammates just decide, well, I guess it's time for the...
Oh, Faker, come on. You almost had him. Dun, 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 dun. Well, it's more like if Jaws was blind or something.
Faker's decided jungling is more important now.
Yeah,
take the entire jungle.
You need that gold, man. Nope, left a wolf. Nope, he didn't. Faker's merciless. Oh, what do you know? It was the Frozen Mallet. Wow.
What a surprise.
Shocking. Faker's like, hey guys, there's another Baron. Let's take it.
Bengi finally here to help out a little bit with that tanking. Faker, even through his shields, gonna get into trouble with that one. And here come the rest of SK Telecom. Lyra looking for that steal. Arin just popping over and making sure nobody has an easy time of escaping. They turn away pretty quickly though. Faker at 50% HP, a little bit dangerous.
Yep, and they're just going to turn back onto the Baron now, and it will go down very quickly. And Martin already recalling. So Faker just helping them take that Baron buff, and SKT is going to come back and win the game.
That's right. I think that's a pretty safe assumption right there. They get the Baron. Bang and Wolf don't have to go back. Start moving this minion wave up. Go for that very clean victory. With all 11 turrets, all 3 inhibitors. And
Faker must take every living thing on the map at this point.
Well, he has 2,000 gold. We'll see if what he buys here.
Got to sell that ring, man. He's still got his Dorn's ring. There we go. Void Staff.
Yeah.
It's a good pickup.
All in one go.
Yep.
Well, 6-item Victor. No one was ever scared of that.
No, he's only got 865 AP.
It's crazy, too. He has 417 move speed before he hits somebody with his Q as well. So he's pretty fast. Even Marin has 260 attack damage.
Wow.
That is a lot of damage for Anar. And now, gonna go. Faker needs this blue buff.
Got to get that sustained. Faker, you're not going to get the CS record this game, man. Don't even try. He's like, oh, okay. Time to end the game. Practicing his Victor mechanics on the blue buff, you know. All right, there goes the inhibitor in mid lane. And SKT wanting to close this one out very thoroughly. Marin's nearly Meganar here. Wow.
Had to throw the house before you take the lantern, you know.
So, yeah.
Means there's going to be a small window of time here while Marin is in mini-Nar form.
Do they need him to be Meganar, though?
No.
Yeah.
They can kite very well with him, actually, in mini-Nar. That's one of the big advantages that the Frozen Mallet has, is that even if you're in mini-Nar, you can just kite out of a fight.
That gives you some pretty legit power.
Bye.
Oh, Snowflower. Gets pulverized, gets killed by Faker. Fate's Call saves Wolf for now. And meanwhile, Marin running in, helping Faker pick up another kill or two. Lear on the way out, triple kill for Faker. It's not going to be the Penta. We've already got a kill for Bang, but it is going to be the end of the game as Faker looking for that Quadra. Nope, looking to just kill the Nexus, and that is this SK Telecom with a pretty easy win in game 1. GG.
And that means that Faker is, what, 19-2-6 in his last 2 games on Victor.
Wow. Might be ban worthy.
Well, what else are you going to leave up? Cassiopeia?
Well, that's the question.
He's undefeated on Victor professionally. He's undefeated on Cassiopeia professionally.
It's hard to... You don't often see a game where the Callista is overshadowed, you know? But the Callista pick was not the most threatening thing there.
Well, that also moves Bang to 8-0 all-time on Callista.
True.
So continuing his undefeated streak on that champion as well. So a win for SKT. Very technical, very methodical from SK Telecom. Anarchy did a good job of holding in there early, but eventually the advantages just piled on slowly for SK Telecom, and they're the ones who walk out with the win.
Yep, so we'll see if SKT sticks with the same roster. I'd imagine they probably will, but we'll find out after our break as Anarchy takes a pretty tough loss. You know, Mickey shut down, did what he could, but only ended up 2-2-1 on that Ahri. But what are you going to do, man? It's SK Telecom. These guys just generally do not lose.
Yep, only that one game to Samsung this season. We do have CJ versus SKT later this week.
That'll be interesting. When we come back, guys, game 2. Don't go anywhere.